Good morning, it is Friday. Just got a crap ton of rain overnight. As you can see, there's puddles everywhere. Getting ready to load my brother up with some straw. I haven't videoed anything. Of course, I went to John Deere Tech Clinic yesterday that our local dealership put on. Just told you about new GPS stuff, but basically it was a sales marketing idea for the new SM combines and the CNC See and Spray sprayers that you have to pay $800,000 for. And even though you pay those $800,000 for a sprayer, because that's what a brand new John Deere CNC sprayer is, probably 800 grand. But then you also have to pay $5 an acre. Every acre that you use, that you spray, you have to pay $5 an acre for the technology. I don't know. But you would think that if you paid $700,000 for a sprayer, that John Deere would be like, look, we're not going to charge you $5 more an acre for it. But they don't. So then they just showed you the new planter pip stuff that they got, and I'm trying to do everything with one arm. They tried to show you the planter pip things that they had where you can put the new electric stuff on the planter, because they say it saves from buying I would think a new 16-row planter is probably $600,000 with all this crap on there. And I don't know, they didn't really give you prices, but it's probably $150,000-$200,000 for the tip to redo your old planter, I guess, change it over. And that's great, but you got the same old frame, you still got the same old bar, you got same old CCS tanks. They're putting new row units on and new wiring, but I mean, $200,000, you should be able to buy a new planter for $200,000. Everybody, I say this every video, it's like everybody justifies a $1 million combine or a $700,000 tractor or $700,000 sprayer. And it's crazy. They got a crap ton of 8Rs down there for $430,000 to $500,000 for used tractors. And when are people going to stop paying $500,000 for a used tractor? I mean, why do you think they can ask these ridiculous prices? I remember when a combine with both heads weren't even $500,000. And I'm not even talking about that long ago. And it's like, stop buying this stuff. Use what you got for a while. Let the prices come down. I'm sure we would upgrade equipment more often if it wasn't so expensive, but they're forcing us to keep what we got. And I don't know how these guys are making all these payments. I don't. I mean, you talk about $1 million combine, it's $150,000 a year payment, if not more, $200,000 a year payment. That's ridiculous. So I'm gonna get them loaded. Just my thought for today. There's apparently a lot of rich farmers out there that are getting more for the crops than we are, so I don't know. All right, so I got the planter in here, corn planter. I'm going to start going over it. I'm going to put new openers on her. I think these right here could probably last another year, but I'm going to save these and put some of them. I got some on the bean planter that are getting bad. They're a little notched up here and there, so I'm going to put some of these on the bean planter and go ahead and just rebuild this corn planter. So I got all of them right there, all the scrapers, everything. So I'm going to put new openers on this and just check it all over, grease it, make sure everything's good. I'm going to check all these gauge wheels, make sure that the bearings are good in them. I'm pretty sure these right here last a lot longer. My 2x2, I really like them, the style. They do an excellent job. And yeah, so just going to go over it, go through it, check it out, get her right, make sure she is right anyway. And yeah, so that's what's going to happen. I'm going to check all the bearings, all the closing wheels, make sure everything is right. I like to run a spike one, a cast iron one on the back. I don't like two spikes because it seems like the spikes dig it back up. If you have two of them, if you have one of them, it seems like it firms it, and the other one kind of closes it a little bit better, in my opinion. I mean, there's guys that run, I know that run two of them, but it just seems like when you run two of them, it kind of digs it back out of there. That's why I like running one and the cast other one. Closes it pretty good. I'm gonna check the chains, just go through it completely, check it, and make sure she's right. That way when I hook up to her this year, plant corn, even though you do all this, you hook back up to it, there's something that always happens, but we'll see. Maybe all this cautionary stuff, checking it over prevents a lot of that. You do have, sometimes you'll get one of these little air things that'll leak here and there. I don't really have them on this planter as much leaking as I do. I got 31 rows on the other planter. There's always one that you got to replace here and there. But I put a new tank on the other planter, a new air tank. I've replaced some of those fittings. So just trying to go through and make sure that everything is A-OK. So make sure nothing is leaking. As you can see, right here has probably been leaking a little bit. We do keep a little bit of nitrogen in our tank over winter time. We don't do the we've been doing that for years, keeping it in there. Never had an issue with anything. We don't put a whole thing of antifreeze in there. We just keep a little bit of nitrogen in it. And it seems like it's always done pretty good for us. Never had an issue with it in there so far. So, and I know other people that keep it in their sprayers. You got some guys like, oh, the seals and O-rings go bad. Never had one go bad on anything we got. Not saying they won't eventually, but I've seen brand new O-rings get put in and you turn around and got to replace it for no reason just because the O-ring was bad. So never had an issue with it. And yeah, so just completely go through her. I don't have the hoses or anything hooked up. I don't really need to, just to change all the openers and the blades out, grease everything. Just, you know, basic maintenance, check it all over. So this is today's Friday, so this project's going to start on a Monday. I just wanted to get it over here in the shop and get going through it. That way it'll be over here. They're talking about snow and rain tomorrow, so I kind of wanted to get it over here because I had to get the sprayer and the spreader out to get hooked up to this. And I don't want the sprayer or spreader where I just waxed them and painted them, having to move stuff out in the rain and the snow. I wanted it over here already. So, yeah, this is it. She's getting ready to get checked over starting next week. And that way when we pull her out, she's all ready to go. Put that 350, 400 bushel corn in the ground. So I had to rob one of these meat wheels off of my other planter. I had to take it off of here because I lost one on the bean planter, and they both have the same kind. So then when we were cutting soybeans, I found it for the other planter. So I'll make sure to clean that up, go through it, check it over, make sure it's good, slap it on here. That's the one that actually goes on the other planter, but they're both the same thing. So I'll slap that on here, and yeah, yep. And I actually lost, it wasn't on this planter, I had a bearing go out on the bean planter on one of these cast wheels. I think it was the other planter. Yeah, it had to be, because it's not missing on here. And I never did find that. I thought I would find it cutting soybeans. Because the one thing good about that draper with that great big rock trap it has on the front, if you drop something off of a planter or something, it will find it because it'll push. Because it won't, 9 times out of 10, it won't come over the rock trap, and you'll catch it before, just in case it does. But I've never had one come over. It pushes it a little bit more than it does anything. So you can find stuff pretty easy if you can't find it when you spray or something, because the beans are so thick. But I ended up finding that, but I did not find the closing wheel. So I'm gonna have to get another one. And I know Dale, when he was ripping a lot of the ground, he never saw it. So it's somewhere, I don't know where, but it's somewhere. The field that I thought I lost it in, when I cut the soybeans on there, I mean, I was paying attention the whole field, never found it. So I don't know, they're somewhere, or that's somewhere. So I'm pretty sure I'll find it putting corn in this year, hopefully. Or the Turbo Max, when it goes out there, I like to run the Turbo Max in front of the planter. Kind of gets that top layer nice and soft. And the planter rides real good. And probably find it then, hopefully. If not, then who knows where it's at. But anyway, I'm gonna have to get one for the other planter. So, but yep, getting ready to get tangled up in this. Like I said, it's just the openers, scrapers. I put the new caulkers on last year, so I mean, it don't need much. It really don't need the openers, but these openers that are on here now can run on the bean planter for a little bit longer. Try to recycle them a little bit. So, all right, see you later. Good morning. So I got up here to the shop. It is a Saturday. I got all the gauge wheels off of her. So, not going to get the whole job done today on the tanker. Probably going to do the back row. I got a couple guys coming to look at the 2 Peterbilts for sale. So I'm pretty much just waiting for them. So I'm going to go in and put the new openers across the back and get them adjusted right. That'll probably be it for today. I know that sounds like a little bit, but my intention was to start on this next week. But being as I had to come up here and meet the guys about the 2 Peterbilts, I figured I'd start tinkering with it nonetheless. At least get all the daggone gauge wheels off. They're kind of heavy and a pain in the butt. So I at least got all of them taken off. So I'm gonna at least get the back row rebuilt today and this morning. And then meet with the guys about the trucks. And that'll probably be it. Because it is Super Bowl weekend. It's like a holiday. Even though Tom Brady's retired, we're still going to watch the Super Bowl. So I kind of went through each one of them before I took them off, wiggled them to see if any of the bearings were bad, and all of them were really tight, which is good. Seems like I don't have problems with this planter. I have problems with the bean planter because she's got 31 rows, so what's that, 62 of them. And out of 62, you find more. And plus, I turn a little bit more when I'm in the ground with the bean planter than I do the corn planter, because you got to be more precise. But with beans, I kind of let her go around corners a little bit in the ground, stuff like that, and that probably wears some of the bearings out more quicker, I guess. So normally when I pull the bean planter out, I'll probably have 2 or 3 of them that I got to rebuild on the bearings for them things. And normally it's probably one. It's always one of these get tightened up. You got to replace a bearing on one of them, which they're really easy. The gauge wheels, you got to take them apart and shit. That's the pain in the butt. But the closing wheels are really easy to change. I mean, really easy. It's snap ring, pop the bearing out, put a new one in, snap ring, you're done. But anyway, I'm gonna get the blades out and start taking them off. And you got to remember on these openers, you have backwards threads on one side. So if you take your little gun and you wear too much, you can strip that bolt, I guess, that the nut goes on. So you got to remember that. You know, one turns one way, one turns the other way. They're not both just lefty-loosey. So you always got to remember that. But we're going to get to it. And and these bandits, I think you watched me when I put them on in a different video, but I really love these things. They are a really good 2x2 system, and easy to change. When the blade goes, you just take the nut off, pop the bolt out, throw a new one on there, and you're done. It comes in a nice kit of 2. Really easy to change. They still got another probably 2 years on them before I have to change them, but they do an excellent job. I've never had them clog up. If I've ever had a problem, it's just right in here. You might get a little bit of a jump, you know, from your, depends on if you got, sometimes, you know, when they bring you the fertilizer, it has a little grit in there. You'll have one clog maybe in one of them. You just clean it out and go again. I would like to I see some guys bolt like little brackets on that holds these up. I haven't got that far yet. I did try some brackets one day. I was going to put them on there, but it just didn't seem like it was going to work right. But some guys do that, thinking about doing that. But overall, I love the system. It does really good. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best 2x2 system out there. You'll see a lot of guys that have just nozzles down and it shoots it, but this right here actually puts it in the ground. And I really like where it puts it in the ground and covers it up. So just thought I'd show you that. Anyway, like, subscribe, share. I'm gonna this will be the video for this weekend, and then once I get here next week and start really tearing this thing out, I'll set the camera up, start going through it on the roads and show you. It's kind of more of me talking now than it is showing you things, so sorry, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad that Doge is finding all the corruption. I know a lot of people want to watch farming channels that don't have any political comment or content, but it doesn't matter if you're watching or if you're the guy doing the videos, you're still a taxpayer. And you don't want to watch your money wasted. You don't want it going to stupid shit. And if they have that much money to be giving billions of dollars to everybody else, that means they're taking too much tax money from you. So I'm glad they're cutting the size of government. I still feel safe. Have no problem with what he's doing, and I'm glad they're doing it. And hopefully they stop taking their tax money like they are, because as you can see, the tax money was making all the corrupt elites rich and going towards stupid stuff that didn't benefit us or this country. So there you go. See you later.